when the person went in for
697
the medical, Bruce apparently requested the medical report, and that was only given to him on that day. So I have to go and check that now.
Sorry, say that again. So they went for the medical report, right?
Right. And he requested it, and he only got given it on the day that the election day, pretty much.
Right, but
that's what he told me.
Was there a police report about a hit and run
on the day of that?
No. Was there an original police report?
That's what I mean. I need to find that out. So we'll get Bruce in, and we'll just have to get it all wrote down now because it's getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, hold on. 13806. There we go.
But the thing. Wait, what's this?
13806. It says it was promoted from. Yeah, there we go. 15th of October. Wait, that's it.
So what's happened is he's promoted the report, and it's.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
I think Fred just doesn't understand how it works.
Yeah. So, but I mean, unless you are of a different opinion than me, I don't know what we could physically charge him with criminally. I think Pred does have a civil case, right? But I don't think I'm going to do his civil work for him. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I think he can hire a lawyer and do that with the FOIAs. Because at the end of the day, it's like legal arguments of why the thing was posted, right?
What was his PC here?
His PC was, he even admitted it to me, like, he wasn't that experienced and he ran it by command. Like I say, I think if I get Bruce in again and we go over it with him, but at the same time, like it's kind of doing Pred's job that he could just get him in court of law and get him to testify to, right?
No, 100%. Like, yeah. I mean, he needs if he wants to sue the guy. But like, I think criminally, there's nothing to charge the guy for, unless there's a I think we need to clarify whether there is some malicious prosecution here. I think we need to clarify a timeline. I think to see if they'll,
But BCSO have already like dealt with it, and then Kyle's retaliation for his disapproval was to lower the wages, right?
Right.
So this is now he's bringing us into this little tiff taff between them two, which is just quite absurd. I'm going to be honest with you.
But is there anything about this warrant? Is there like a command report or anything?
I know Aspen got disciplined, and right. Okay. I think that you probably just get Bruce in, just get his story on a recording, and then you'll have the better picture, right? There was just a lot that happened, and the MDW's been fucky, so I never got a chance to write this up because I didn't think it was going to turn into this much of a shit show. The only thing I did was a preliminary thing for criminal charges because I didn't realize we were going to be acting as fucking Pred's lawyers.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll just turn my report today into I guess into.
I'll write what I've got. I'll write what I've got in there. That I know after preliminary discussions. And then you can update your side of it, and then we'll go from there, right? But I can tell you that when Pred turned himself in, he was never cuffed, he was never searched, he was never Mirandized. A discussion was had inside of MRPD, and this is according to Peters. And they decided unanimously to drop the warrant, and that was it. If that makes sense. Right. So yes, a warrant was placed, but Pred went and discussed it with Pete. Peters called him in, and then they had a discussion, and it was dropped.
All right, interesting.
Okay, but do you want to take this one then, and see what you can, if you can find anything else out from it? Because as far as I'm concerned, like I said, I didn't found from my preliminary discussions, I didn't find anything criminal with it.
Do I want to take it? No, I mean, no. I mean, Purchase talked to me about it today. So no, I don't really want to take it. To be
Can we go
honest,
to the marshal's office so I can buy
yeah, we
some
can. Yeah.
stuff?
Right.
I mean,
All right.
if I'm honest, no, I don't.
Okay. Well, do you want, I'll fill my bits in there, and then we'll just have to see what he does with it, right?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll speak to you soon. I'll see you at the office sometime. Bye bye.
Bye bye. I think Nova's trying to dump some work on me.
Did you put the drone in the lockbox?
No, yet, no.
Okay, no worries.
I've barely been able to do anything snow related right now. Today. I can't be doing anything else at the minute.
That was dicey, Richard.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
How did they, like, they see the drone, or how did they
I
find
think they
you?
must have. Yeah, I think they did, because then I went really high in the drone, and there was like 4 cars like circling around looking for somebody.
Oh shit, okay.
I think they've picked up that grey color as their gang color, you know?
Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, 100%, because there was like 4 grey cars driving around the Besties block. Let me call Pred back. I'll put my statement in a minute. Oh, he's on the phone, never mind. Oh my god, what the fuck, Nino? Just told Eleanor Highwater to shut the fuck up on Twitter.
What the fuck?
Where? The hell is blows? I'm stuck, man. Doc, are you around? Oh. Hey, oh my god, Sushi! Dude, I was doing your shit today, man. It's fucking awesome. Thank you for making that. And one of the coders of the Spina View tour, there's also a beta version you can export log into PNG and hold on, my brain is... I've got baby brain at the minute. There is also a beta version where you can export log into a PNG and combine subpoenas if you want. I can send you the link. Also tons of bone fixes. 100%, dude. Yeah, send it over, man. I definitely know everything you've just said, but... Right. Do I need to put my statement in?
Yes. Put it in. I put the evidence and put my statement already and ran the DNA.
On the 27th of August, 2024, Marshall Stark and Espinoz noticed 2 individuals class 2 weapons at the Besties Cubby on Palomino Ave. Next, a gray tailgater. It shortly on. Yeah. Later, there was a jewelry store. Yeah.
You gotta fly, Richard. You're
That's-
good. Oh my god.
Those
That's so big.
responded to. It's all right. Thank you so much. He wants me to call him.
How you doing, Doc?
Hey, not too bad, Mr. May. How are you?
I'm actually rather agitated right now.
What's up?
Very agitated. Really fucking pissed.
Okay, what's happened?
Quite a bit, Doc. And I'm gonna give you a list of things. And the reason I want to talk to you, Doc, is because I think you have a good head on your shoulders. All right.
Okay.
And this is not me glazing you. This is because I think you are surrounded by a bunch of fucking idiots.
Okay.
Let me start by underlining a conversation and a type of behavior that I've been witness to. I attend the LSPD meetings. The marshals show up. Perfectly fine, right? In the meeting, whatever. But there's been now a pattern behavior of marshals going up there and telling the cops how to do their job, right? Now, inherently, that wouldn't be an issue, right? You see something's not being done right. You sort of explain, hey, it should be done this way. We're noticing this, whatever. But there's kind of quite a matter-of-fact way and talking down to sort of tone that comes into play, right? First and foremost. I'll give you a very specific example. If you see X, Y, and Z, you have probable cause to give someone transaction of drugs. Now, first, this took place last week. Not once, but twice. Now, I asked during the meeting, I said, first off, as a former lawyer, hearing what I did, I kind of interjected and I said, how are you going to tell people that if they have A and B, that they have probable cause when that particular officer is the one that needs to articulate it? Aren't you creating a environment where these officers may end up charging someone inappropriately? Like, what are you going to do some training on this? Are you following with what my logic?
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And another marshal got up on the podium and goes, "We don't do training. That's not our job." And so I bit my tongue because I didn't want to start an argument in the meeting. But I pulled him aside afterwards. I'm like, "What is this? You're not going to do training thing?" Because inherently, if you're going up to a podium with a bunch of officers with varying levels of training and say, if this happens, you must charge this. You are giving them a directive to charge a certain way when they may not actually have the probable cause. But then you're equally saying that you're not willing to have any kind of training session or some kind of like, hey, this is how you do this and that. You're actually setting them up to fail. So, and the response was, well, we're an oversight. My problem here, Doc, is what I'm trying to underline here is I'd like this problem to somehow get resolved. And specifically, in order for our law enforcement agencies to function, they got to work together. But if officers are being monitored, right, and are being told you got to do X, Y, and Z with zero form of guidance, examples, etc., it's going to lead to misery for everybody. I guess my reason for calling you is, do you have any insight? Is this something you could do? Do you see this as a problem? How do we fix it?
I'm not quite sure about this specific incident.
It's patterned. I gave you an example of some pattern behavior.
I mean, in terms of like, I think there's an obvious, if the marshals, I guess talking about patterns, if the marshal's seeing a pattern of behavior that they, is a problem, right? Then I guess, there's going to want to be a situation where they're going to want to step in and make a correction. They're going to want to make a correction, right?
Yes.
So I guess your argument is you want them to step in and train instead of just...
it could be either way, right? Because what is correctiveness, right? What is, when you correct something, making laissez-faire statements is not corrective.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can say that.
It's like me saying, do your job, Doc, and then you'll be like, what the fuck does that mean?
No, I can agree with you. I mean, like, when I was an officer, do your job on answers weren't the best, and, you definitely, I can agree with you that, if they keep happening, they're definitely going to bring the PD down.
Yeah.
I can agree with you on that point. I guess there's a question to be had that, if I guess there's a question to be had as to if this is happening several times, because obviously I haven't been at these meetings and I don't know the context of why these announcements are having to be had. Why are the marshals having to step in and tell the PD how to charge a certain way? Why is that needing to happen in the first place?
Agreed.
Is there a lack of training from the PD side of things?
No. Well, how can anyone deduce it when it's a generic do your job? You get what I'm saying? So if you stand up in a meeting with a varied set of individuals and you're like, do this because you're not doing it. Well, number one, there's no examples. So you're talking to people that may not even be involved in the corrective measure. Let's say, Bob, Susie, and Michelle are the ones that are not following these directives. And now you go up and you're like, hey, you guys are not doing this right. But those individuals aren't even present. Number one, there's no inherent example of who's not doing it, what the resolution is, and how you get to that, how you're supposed to get to that resolution.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's like going into, it's like going into a room full of, I don't know, high command and telling them how to drive the new interceptors. Like, that's not their job, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly it. There's a second point here.
Sure.
Is it makes me ask the question, if this is an issue, why is LSPD High Command not being spoken to? because it seems rather out of band for any Tom, Dick, and Harry that's got a marshal badge going in saying things out of band. Because my first question is it that particular marshal that sees an issue? Is it all the marshals that see this and they're acting on behalf of the entire agency? And if it, and whichever those two are, why they're not going directly to high command so that high command can resolve it in a reasonable manner? Because otherwise now you get in the circumstance where the marshals can walk away and be like, oh yeah, I pointed this out. Well, pointing it out at a meeting isn't going to resolve to any, is not going to lead to any positive outcome. I think so you know as much as I do. You go into a meeting, you say some shit, right? That's not, you're not going to get any resolution out of that.
So are you saying they haven't gone to high command?
I have, no.
So they have, so you've spoken to Moss and Peters and they haven't gone to high command?
Correct.
And they haven't, have they gone to any members of PNT?
How are they going to, wait, why would they go to PNT?
Because that's training.
The marshals have not gone to high command. So what are they going to go to PNT about?
Because that's the training division, right? So
yeah.
So
the marshals. Wait, are you asking me? Did I go to high command and tell them what the issue was?
No. I'm asking, did the marshals go to the personnel and training and say, you know, this is an issue, that this is not happening. You know, I think this needs to be trained upon. Do you know if that happened?
If they did, it would have had to have been in the last 48 hours.
Okay.
But they did not at the time of these announcements. The most that was done was a generic statement that was sent out over Discordia.
Okay, who was that by?
I'm sorry?
Who was that done by, sorry?
Espino. I will say that Espino's understood my perspective and he took it into consideration. However, the response that I heard from Nova and Anna was concerning.
Okay.
Doc, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Do you see my perspective?
Yeah, I do. I understand your perspective. I do. Because, you know, you don't want, I get it. I do. I think I want to make sure that there's not been some kind of level of miscommunication here. That, you know, I don't know whether these individuals have not already gone to certain people about this. And because obviously I'm hearing this from you instead of, you know, Moss or Peters. Have they reached out to any of the marshals?
They Trig had a bit of a conversation, but this is I don't think it is inherently necessary for them to reach out. So this becomes like a which way does the communication take place, right? If the directive is coming from a party, it is the obligation of that party to do the communication, not the other way around.
No, I agree with you. But I guess this is the point I'm trying to make is the complaint coming from the LSPD or is the complaint coming from you?
I'm giving you the complaint. Yes, I think it's fucking dog shit. As the mayor who oversees public services, et cetera, and needs to ensure that the LSPD is functioning properly, watching a bunch of fucking dog shit marshals come in and say some random demeaning shit in a meeting is not the way things should be handled.
Wait, does the PD have any issues with what the marshals are doing?
Of course they do.
I'm gonna have to hear that from the horse's mouth, though. You understand?
You need to hear from high command that this is an issue.
I mean, I'm not to act on it, but I am gonna have to. You know, if they have issues with it, I'd like to hear from them, and not just from not just from you.
So you're saying that these events may not have taken place?
No, not at all. I'm not saying I don't believe you, Nino. But what I'm saying is I want to know that the LSP has an issue. I know that you have an issue with it, but I don't know that the
Please,
LSPD has
by
an
all
issue with it.
means, by all means, we'll have them give you a call. But regardless, what is your course of action here?
I'll have discussions with my chain of command.
Perfect.
Okay.
That said, I want to go extend this even further. Where does the line with the marshals begin, and where does it end when it comes to the police department? What is oversight in your mind?
That's a what do you mean by that?
Well, the marshals are oversight, right?
Right.
What is oversight? Define that for me.
We oversee the police department. Yeah.
And what does that mean to you?
We keep the PD. We make sure there's no corruption or criminal happenings within the PD. We make sure the PD, the law enforcement, is running smoothly within the state. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of our job. We follow the legislation.
Absolutely. But like, what does that mean in practice? If you need me to be more direct, I can be more direct.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
So oversight is very vague. Does it mean
Sure.
you get involved in cases that would traditionally be handled by the department? When do you get involved? When do you not get involved?
I think it's a case by case basis, right? Because just because we have oversight is one thing, but the state master's office is also a state law enforcement agency, which can take state jurisdiction on cases at any time. So like, there's on one side we are an oversight agency, but on the other hand we're a state law enforcement agency.
So in other words, what you're saying is that if there is an active case by a department or by both departments, you can take over that case.
I think it's legislation that reads that the San Andreas State Masters is a state law enforcement agency.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. So where does it begin and where does it end? You said it's case by case. Is there? And so what you're saying is that it's kind of up to you guys when you can pick and choose when you do and when you don't. Would that be accurate?
But which I don't know whether that would particularly be accurate, Nino, because again, it's a case by case basis. I think you're looking for a certain answer, and I'm not just going to give you.
No, I'm actually not. I'm asking for clarity.
Is this in terms of oversight or what
yeah,
do you
oversight? Oversight. So this kind of goes back to my original point that I was trying to make, and because you asked the question, I need to hear from high command about this, right? So I'm folding into the thought process, and I'm saying, look, if the marshals are supposed to be oversight, right?
Right.
On one hand, coming in and providing directives by action alone seemingly is something that the marshals feel as though that is in their purview, right?
Sure.
Go and say, hey, you guys need to do this. But in the same token, the statement is being made, well, we don't handle corrective behavior through training. To me, that seems rather counterintuitive. And so that then begs the question, well, is that what all the marshals feel is their definition of oversight? And if it is, maybe that entire notion needs to be revisited. And if it needs to be revisited, what parties should have that conversation?
I think there's a big difference between oversight and training, though. Don't you agree?
No.
How?
Not by the definition of oversight.
Okay, what's the definition of oversight?
Oversight would include monitoring,
right?
Unpacking issues, underlining corrective measures, and then implementing said corrective measures.
I don't think oversight would include implementation.
Why wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, it traditionally is in every corporation around the United States. So why would law enforcement not?
Because
Like,
oversight,
think about the U.S. Think about oversight committees in Congress. That's exactly what they do.
so like, are you saying that like Moss and Peters go out and like take cadets out on like a daily basis for like training sessions?
They do, actually.
So they're like fully trained FDOs that do like day-to-day training sessions with cadets, and that's their full-time job. But
What is that? I don't understand the point you're making.
no, do they do that or not?
Are they full-time FTOs? That's what you just asked me.
Yeah, do they do that?
Are they full-time FTOs or do they FTO?
Yeah, are they full-time FDOs?
It's not a, wait, what do you mean? Yes, it's a yes or no. I don't know which one you're asking
Oh,
for.
yeah, are they full-time FDOs?
No, of course not.
Okay, but that's part of their. But you said they are FDOs. That's fair enough. I'll give you that one. So they're high command, but they FDO. That's fair enough. The issue with the difference is so they give recommendations to P&T and they delegate to P&T and then P&T train people because they have a department of people in P&T to train people, right?
Okay.
Right. So why would it be different for marshals? So they high command is oversight, marshals are oversight.
Right.
We would give recommendations and then P&T train cadets to, enact those recommendations. Why would that be different? Why would the marshals have to go out their way to train the cadets or train the PD?
I think you kind of missed the point, Doc. No, I am not inferring that the marshals would need to be. Okay, let's bring it back, because I think when you're hearing training, you're thinking P&T. If you're coming in, right, as a marshal, and you see that there's something wrong, right, a series of reports that underline some kind of like pattern behavior where charges are not being pressed properly, right? Then your first measure should probably be to talk to the high command and be like, this is what we're seeing. This needs to be resolved. In such a case, well, now you've done your job, right? You have now delegated to the department to handle it internally. However, if you take the approach of going into a meeting and generically making a statement, now you're doing something very different. At that point, you're telling people to follow these directives without giving them the full picture as to how they need to resolve it. One is going to high command and delegating down. The other is going to the actual individuals that need the implementation and skipping the training.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Do you get the distinction?
Right. Yeah, I get I understand what you're saying, but why would it be difficult for? Why would it be like there was an announcement made as well? It wasn't just like the meeting. You know that, right?
That's what I said. I told you that.
Yeah, but you said it was just in the meeting. But there was like a PD announcement, like in
I
MDT.
said in this conversation that Espinosa sent a message out.
Wait, right.
Said it like 5 minutes ago.
But it's also in the MDT. I just want to clarify.
Okay.
So, okay, fair enough. So I guess a question is when the LSPD High Command and BCSO High Command, I guess you're aware that they make a lot of SOP changes, and they put them in the announcement tab in
and
in
these
the
things were done as a consequence of me put myself and Trig pointing out this issue. It wasn't done until afterwards. So yes, it's good. I'm glad they followed our instructions.
No. I'm just saying when LSPD High Command and BCSO High Command put like announcements in the MDT for SOP changes,
Yeah.
like are they also training
I
people
don't think
when
this
they
is
do
an
that?
SOP train.
No, but when they do that, are they training people on those SOP changes?
What do you mean by that?
So when they make an announcement, that's an SOP change. So they're changing the way they do things, right? Are they training people how to do that, or are they just making an announcement?
You'd have to ask them. Is your point that because this particular thing was resolved, that this isn't a issue?
I guess I'm trying to point out that like you come
Yes,
in
I
and
did.
say,
Yes, myself and Trig resolved this particular issue, but it's a pattern behavior. Had we not stepped in, this would not have been resolved.
okay, my point is, if you're having an issue with the marshals on this particular issue, are you also going to have an issue with the PD, like PD High Command and BCSO High Command for doing the same thing?
I think you, Doc, with all due respect, I think you completely missed the point of my argument a while ago, because we are so deep in the weeds of this like whataboutism that my point, underlining point here is we have marshals coming to the meetings, giving directives, and then saying that they're not willing to follow through with it until being told to do so. I think we can have this conversation without being so protective.
I'm not being protective. I'm not at all being protective. But I don't know whether you're just like, the issue I'm having is not at all that this might be an issue with the marshals, but whether or not this is a issue with the PD as well.
Let's do this. Let's simplify this conversation. Do you agree with me that if the marshals uncover a issue, a pattern one, that they should probably go to high command about it, who then implement through their PNT the corrective measures? Agree or disagree?
I think it's a fair statement to make.
Would you agree that's probably the appropriate thing to do?
Sure, that's an appropriate thing to do, but I don't know whether it needs to go all the way to high command. I think it can go through, PNT.
So you're saying that the marshals should interface with another department's PNT directly? I'm okay with either way. I mean, I'm asking you to have a position here.
I don't see an issue with going straight to another department's PNT. I don't particularly know the best course of action, I'll be honest. I haven't really given it much thought. I mean, we've only had, like, what, a 20-minute conversation?
You should think about it. Bring it up with the other marshals. But this is the point that's been trying to make that I've been trying to make from the very beginning, is that this communication should be resolved because it is clearly a problem. Now, I understand that you may not see it. You haven't.
I don't know whether it's clearly a problem, because I'm hearing it from you, and it doesn't sound like PD has an issue with it.
So you don't know that.
I mean, you don't know that either.
I do. I've spoken to them.
But they haven't brought it up to you.
Why would they?
You said you didn't know whether they have an issue with it. So
Doc,
you said that earlier.
Doc, sweetheart, listen.
Don't call me sweetheart. I'm married.
Only my husband calls me sweetheart. The gotcha shit isn't going to get anybody. All right. Listen, this isn't a very complicated conversation. All right. I'm bringing up an issue to you. Now, I'm sure that, we can play this game of like, hey, did this happen? Did this happen? Whatever. It's very simple. I'm bringing it to your attention. If you think I need to bring it up to Angel directly, I can do that as well.
You listen, you're the mayor. You can do whatever you like, At the end of the day. But listen, I can have a chat with LSPD High Command and see what they think.
Please. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Sure.
How's the Helen investigation going, by the way? What are your thoughts on that?
What Helen investigation?
The one where she put a gun into the mouth of a ICU patient and then went through a phone?
I believe Marshal Lockhart was working on that one.
I heard nothing really came out of it other than a slap on the wrist.
Who'd you hear from?
From one of the marshals. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, okay.
I noticed that, is there anyone looking into why members of the sheriff's department were involved in a raid on Hydra, but then dropped the ball?
The sheriff department? Which, you want about, what raid do you want about, you know?
The one where the property is owned by Snow.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to ask how you're aware of that, and then we'll continue with the conversation.
That's a great question. People should stop leaking shit on Twitter.
Who leaked it on Twitter?
Half the city know.
Okay, so so what sheriffs were involved in that?
That's a good question. Might be something to look into there, Doc.
You know, that was an LSPD-led investigation and raid.
Right. Is that what the marshals are telling you?
No, that's what I'm completely and 100% factually aware of. So you sure you want me to...
The LSPD led the raid.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means?
I mean, that's a factual statement.
Well, yeah. I want to understand. You mean Den Shiesty led it? That's what you mean.
And executed it, yeah.
Were you guys involved in that at all?
I think there might have been some marshals
What do you mean?
on
Am I
scene.
sure I want you to look into it? What does that mean?
I don't. You saying that
you should look into it 100%.
Don't ask me a question and then interrupt my answer.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you wanted to ask about the sheriff's dropping the ball on it, and then you find out
that's not what I said.
That's what you said.
It's not what I said. That's I think what you heard.
That's what you said. There was sheriffs raiding Hydra, and they dropped the ball.
Involved, not
yeah.
led.
Then they dropped the ball. What did you hear about the raid and then dropping the ball? What happened?
I said you should look into it. You should ask.
Okay, I'll look into it.
I don't want to, tell you something that might not be true. Kind of like this other conversation we just had. Listen, Doc, you're a good guy, right? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say with that about the whole coming into these meetings thing. But I kind of feel like you kind of have your hands up because it feels to me. Here's what I think, Doc. I think you may have the perception that my annoyance with select marshals coming into that PD meeting is a shot at all the marshals together as a unit. That is not the case. I am calling you because I think that you have a good head on your shoulders, and I do want to see these departments function well. However, I do not agree that the manner by which it's happening is, number one, healthy for the marshals or the LSPD, and number two, not good for the people of Los Santos.
Okay. Well, I'll bring out the chain, and we'll have a chat with LSPD High Command about it.
You're gonna handle this?
Well, I'll pass it up the chain.
Perfect. Who do I speak to, or who do I expect the call back from?
I don't know whether you'll expect a call back from anybody, I'll be honest, because it's probably going to be dealt with LSPD.
Easy. You take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Jesus Christ. What the fuck was today about, man? Since when did Doc get the mayor fucking... Is Jackie Snow putting these guys up to it, huh? Is Jackie Snow doing this? I think this is Jackie Snow. No, I think that was Pred. Oh, look, the chain is here. I think that was Pred, because they had a conversation in the car earlier. Daisy, I am passing this up the chain.
Okay.
I just had a conversation, a 30-minute, mind you, conversation with the mayor. That mayor being, well, this is the second conversation with the mayor I've had today. This one was Nino. Hold on. Hold on, we might have incoming.
Okay.
We might be right. Basically, Nino is upset. So this is his complaint. This is not coming from the PD, apparently, at all. Though he claims to have spoken to High Command, LSPD High Command. Though I don't know whether he actually has.
Okay.
This is regarding marshals going into meetings and telling the PD how to do their jobs. He doesn't like that.